I am very upset this morning. So when I was born, I had three living grandparents and one living great grandparent. That great grandparent was my great grandmother. She died of, I believe it was lung cancer, despite never smoking a day in her life. It was either lung cancer or a cancer related to the area around the lung, something like that, like a pulmonary thing. My paternal grandmother had some cancer that she ended up going into multi-organ failure from and dying. I actually remember talking to my dad about him deciding to pull the plug on her. Uh, it was a very difficult decision, but it was her wishes. We didn't know she had a DNR, but she was intubated. She had a DNR DNI. She was intubated, and we found it, found out what was to do, and so we made the decision that she wanted us to make. And then my maternal grandparents, both of them have had cancer. My grandmother's had breast cancer twice, and my grandfather's had prostate and colon cancer. Both of them were able to recover from those things, but obviously they lived with the consequences of going through chemo, going through radiation, going through all those things. Well, anyway, Boogie2988 for the last 2 years has been saying he has polycythemia vera, which is a rare form of blood cancer. Which is a type of blood cancer that causes your bone marrow to make too many red blood cells. The excess blood cells sinking in your blood, slowing its flow, which may cause serious problems such as blood clots, all that stuff. It's extremely rare. It develops slowly. You might have it for years without knowing. Often it's just found during a blood test that's done for other reasons. You'll get your routine blood tests. Boogie got a blood test, and so it was revealed to have secondary polycythemia, not polycythemia vera. Now, people were talking about how Boogie might have been faking his cancer and everything, and how things might be scams. Destiny actually brought this up because he was looking up through the same stuff yesterday. Uh, and so Destiny went on the podcast Blowout Live yesterday, and confronted Boogie. By the end of the podcast, Destiny, Keemstar, Some Ordinary Gamers, I think Boogie had been offered about 100 grand to prove that he was truly having cancer. Um, he refused to do so, and he was kept looking through like his phone, trying to look for his medical records, and said he couldn't find it, which obviously means he hasn't been diagnosed with cancer. And then he was talking about how he was going to get a bone marrow biopsy, which okay, a bone marrow biopsy is the diagnostic test for polycythemia vera, because the bone marrow is what causes you to have the excess red blood cells. Bone marrow is what creates blood cells. It creates most of your blood cells. In general, polycythemia vera usually has all three blood cells, red, white, and platelets be increased, which is why it's such a big deal. But polycythemia has many, many causes. Uh, and the ones that are most common for Boogie would be the obesity and the exogenous testosterone that he's been taking. And the fact that he's been lying about this while also having his crypto scam this week is just really upsetting me. Like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like, what is going on? Boogie2988 to lie about having cancer without thinking about how his daughter might be impacted by this behavior, which is so wrong. Because that's his girlfriend. Keemstar confronted Boogie, tweeted it on Drama Alert. Doubt, and then Boogie deleted social media. But one piece of social media that still exists for Boogie is the YouTube channel. And there are so many videos about this right now. Like Boogie exposed for finally got exposed by more Pegasus. Boogie2988 exposed for lying about cancer as podcast crumbles. joins Locale Live to address Boogie's scam. It's so much, and I'm like, what is going on? Did Boogie2988 lie about his cancer? Johnny Fox live tonight at Johnny Fox has over 150 videos about Boogie. He was a little obsessed with Boogie, but it got his channel monetized. It made him money, and I am gonna probably watch that because I am so excited to see what people say. The quartering, who Boogie2988 actually defended back when the quartering got banned for life from Magic the Gathering, uh, is calling Boogie out. Boogie2988 just claimed that he wouldn't take $1 million to show one person his cancer diagnosis to prove he has cancer. Keep in mind, he scammed his audience with a rug pull coin for just $10,000. These two things can't exist at the same time. That's from Camelcast Official. That's true. 10 grand to just do a rug pull coin, and now he's not like $1 million. And his net worth, he says, is zero because his mortgage is like $169,000 plus all of his other stuff, plus all of his other expenses. You know, he's got to buy Destiny. He's got to buy Halo 5. He's got to buy Diablo 4. He's got to buy Baldur's Gate 6. He's got to buy GTA 14. He's got to buy the PlayStation 14. All those things. He's got to buy all the food. He's got to buy all of that. But $1 million would pay off the house, allow him to live comfortably for a while. He could potentially sell the other property he has, which is his mom's property. Um, if you remember, when his mom died, he inherited her property, which is fine. You're totally allowed to inherit property. But he just has left it dilapidated, and he's not gone back to fix it up, which is weird that he hasn't done that. He's made a ton of money on YouTube. There is no denying that Boogie has made a ton of money on YouTube with his 4 million subs. 4 million subscribers and almost 900, no, over 900 million views. I've had on YouTube, now my channel right now, because I actually deleted a lot of videos, my channel right now says I have about 70,000 views. I've had 5 million. I haven't made anything because I'm not monetized yet. But that 5 million could have made me enough money for me to deal with some extra nonsense, dealing with how the world's going. Maybe been able to get enough to make like a down payment on a car. Like, my goal right now is when I get monetized on YouTube to make enough money from YouTube every week or every month to make a car payment or make a phone bill payment or just get rid of one bill. Boogie could have paid his mortgage, his water, gas, electric, probably has a sewage bill. He definitely has taxes. He definitely made enough to pay his taxes, city, state, property, all of those things. And now he's being offered $1 million, which would be likely enough for him to just go through and just not have to deal with anything until the end of the end of his life. He could maybe potentially afford the Ozempic that he's been on, or the Zepbound, or whatever it is. He's on a GLP-1 antagonist, which is supposed to be for helping him to ensure that he's able to continue with his weight loss journey. One of the ways to treat polycythemia is to work for weight loss. Another way is to, obviously, it would be to stop the exogenous hormones. I don't know if he would want to stop the exogenous hormones. As a 50-year-old man, your testosterone does lower. That is a thing. So the testosterone might actually make him feel better, but there are other ways to feel better. You could take an antidepressant. Now, the idea of taking an antidepressant instead of testosterone Doesn't appeal to a lot of men, but if it's safer, you want to make the safer decision. So that's the important thing. You make the decision that's safe for you. But lying about cancer really upsets me. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all of my living grandparents and great-grandparent who were alive when I was born, which was 4 of them, have been affected or died from cancer, which is awful. To know that somebody who I used to watch Boogie when I was younger. I watched Boogie a lot. I love the Where's My Mountain Dew video. Absolutely loved it. When he was a big magic YouTuber, I would watch that all the time. Like he would do, and I'll be honest with you, I used to watch the quartering, but not when he was the quartering. I watched him when he was MTG headquarters. And I loved his magic content. It's just his political content. I'm not really a fan of that at all, which is a problem. But we're not here to talk about that. But Boogie at one point was like, "Oh, I'm gonna defend the quartering about his ban from Jeremy from MTG HQ, defend him about his ban from Wizards," and everybody was like, "Oh, he's a nice guy." But that was when people started to think maybe he's not a nice guy, which got to the point where it was like, okay, what's going on? And then over the last couple of years, ever since he shot the gun in the school zone, allegedly it was a school zone. Allegedly. We don't 100% know, but yeah, my understanding is it was a school zone at Frank Hassel. He's been getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I'm just like, there's no defending you anymore. In the last week, he did a crypto scam and got caught faking cancer. It's like, how? How do you even do those two things in the same week? And $10,000, but you won't take $75,000 or $100,000 or $1 million. He could make so much money by just revealing the cancer diagnosis. But because of what happened on yesterday's podcast, nobody's going to trust him if he reveals it. So what I did see on Keemstar's account, or it might have been Drama Alert, was that he talked to Boogie and that Boogie has agreed to get a biopsy at a future time. So Keemstar's probably going to pay for it. Okay, fine, whatever. Have fun, Keemstar. Have fun paying for Boogie's treatment. But, knowing that that's going to happen, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, if Boogie does have cancer, nobody's going to believe him because he's the boy who cried wolf. So, like, too many times he's been like, I have cancer, I have this, I have that. And then on top of that, we also know that he has failed medical treatments in the past. I talked about gastric bypass surgery. He's back up. He was at 586 pounds. He's back up to 400. And now he's using the Ozempic to try to lose weight. But the Ozempic doesn't work as effectively as the GLP-1 antagonists. He's using it to try to lose weight. And it's not working as well as it should. But we've got to just see what he's going to end up doing. I'm very, very angry with Boogie. I'm going to now move on to the next part. He quit the internet. He claims to have quit the internet. By quit the internet, I mean he deleted his Twitter. He still has TikTok. He still has YouTube. I think he forgot that he has a TikTok account, which is hilarious. Just honestly hilarious that I think he forgot he has a TikTok account because one of the time. But quitting the internet for Boogie is not the way to go. There's a bunch of drama here. And because of this drama, he may be able to turn that into people going to his channel and watching his content, even if they're hate watching it. And as they're hate watching it, things can happen. And the big thing that happens is that people will watch the video, they'll watch the whole video, and then be like, oh, okay. So that's what happened. And then as they continue hate watching it, he makes money. And then because the video goes through the algorithm and they see, oh, everybody's watching it, it goes back up to the front page of YouTube potentially. It could go on to trending. all of those things, and that makes him more money. And I think he said he needs $7,000 a month in the documentary. But I think he actually needs more than $7,000 a month. I think he needs like $10,000 a month between the mortgage and the new medications and everything. And then if he does have cancer, he'll need even more than that. It's gotten to the point where he is self-sabotaging, which he says he's a covert narcissist, which maybe. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not going to diagnose somebody over the internet. But it's interesting when he says things like, I'm a covert narcissist. This is my covert narcissism. And it's like, what are you doing, bub? You're always saying you have this health issue, that health issue, blah, blah, blah. The only health issue we know you have, two health issues we know you have, is low testosterone and obesity. Like, we know he's got obesity. It's a problem that he isn't trying to work on it. Like, I currently have obesity, but I'm actually down to under 300 pounds for the first time since 2020 as of this morning, so that's kind of nice. And now everybody thinks you don't. But because of the way that you did it, nobody's ever going to believe you. You could come on tomorrow and be like, I have testicular cancer, and everybody will be like, you're faking it. Which everybody will be mad about, but yeah. I don't recommend quitting the internet, Boogie, because you're not going to be able to live without being on the internet. You have no skills. You have no marketable skills. You can't make it to a job. It's going to be a major problem. We've all seen the documentary. And the fact that you said some of the things that you said during the job interview makes it seem like you don't want a job. But now you need one. And with needing a job, you really shouldn't have made yourself a fool. What do you put on the resume? YouTuber for 17 years? Do you put on your Gamer of the Year award? Actually, yeah, you should put on your Gamer of the Year award on a resume. You probably wouldn't. Other things you could put on a resume, you could put down Twitch streamer. That's, self-employed as a streamer. You can put down on the resume things like that. But you also got to put down felon. I don't think you want to put down that you're a felon on your resume, simply due to the fact that it'll make it harder for you to get jobs. Generally, the jobs that are open to felons are in two categories: non-financial call centers and warehouses. Boogie can't do a warehouse job at his weight and with his disability. He made that video in the falls. He couldn't do it. I could see him trying and lasting an hour, and that hour would be filling out the paperwork. But I could also see them being like, and I don't think he could make I don't think he could do the forklift. It'd be cool if he could do the forklift. Boogie2988 gets forklift certified. Would actually be a really cool video, but I don't think he'd do it. I enjoy seeing that, but no, probably not. So we'll see where this goes. I wouldn't be surprised if Boogie comes back to the internet within a week, because that's just how it goes. I'm really excited to see the Johnny Fox live stream tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, so I'm going to tune into that. I'll probably be in the chat talking to Johnny. We'll see what happens. So yeah, the lesson here is don't fake cancer.